Come on in, you guys. Please hit the like button on your way in. How y'all doing? How y'all doing today? Please smash that like button. So yes, we got to get in here and talk about some of these hot topics, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all tapping that like button on your way in. And we gonna get into it. We ain't gonna wait too long for others to join us. They gonna have to catch the replay, baby. Cause today is Saturday. And we got plans, child. We gotta get in and get out. So, y'all, we gotta talk about it. We're gonna talk about Dominique Morgan and the DL Whisperer child, an update and they whole little debacle they got going on. We got to talk about it today, y'all. So in the last update we did a video because Tasha K called herself coming out and dropping the tea about T.S. Madison, accusing them of not being on the up and up with that starter house. And this is the co-founder, Ms. Dominique Morgan. And so they dropped some tea about DL Whisper getting arrested today, child. It's been a whole lot of going on. So this is Dominique, and she is a trans woman slash activist, and she actually was charged with grand larceny, y'all. So up there in New York, they accused her of stealing almost $100,000. This story is getting talked about a lot over there on TikTok, on social media, across all platforms, because Dominique has built her a very large following on social media. She's been giving her advice on different social media topics and influencers and celebs. So when the tea got spilled, people claim that she was talking about it herself, but when everybody really started getting into it, they was finding out that some stuff was going on. So, child, it's been talked about on how Dominique was charged with mishandling these funds, y'all. So it looks like she actually pled guilty on February the 11th to the charge, and we see that that is the grand larceny charge that she pled guilty to. For all of the other charges for falsifying business records, she did plead not guilty to those. And so, with her pleading guilty, they set her sentencing date in April. So, April 29th, 2026, Dominique will be in court getting sentenced for that grand larceny charge that she caught. Now, they are saying that the DL Whisperer has been arrested on a felony aggravated stalking charge. Him and T.S. Madison have this ongoing beef. T.S. Madison was able to secure a TPO against the DL Whisperer. And baby, they said that she was going to be pursuing criminal charges, as well as Dominique was supposed to be pursuing criminal charges. And I guess these are those results of those charges. Y'all, the computer is tripping. My bad. Okay, so yeah, it looks like the DL Whisperer has been locked up. Now, this has just gone completely too far for this to have started over somebody giving commentary on the interview, because according to T.S. Madison, this all started after her interview she did with Nene Leakes. Now, the DL Whisperer has been making content for some time that has been calling out what he refers to as download men. And he doesn't really discriminate on who he calls out. He has been calling out celebrities, he's been calling out influencers, and just people have been asking him questions, I guess, about their own men. And he's been trying to describe the traits, habits, and, personalities and things to look out for. I have seen a few of his videos, but I haven't really been following him that much to really keep up with it, because the topic honestly does not interest me, and he is giving his opinion on random people. It's not really people he knows, so that type of content didn't interest me. But he did blow up. A lot of people are supporting him through this. He started a GoFundMe. They have been raising money, and they've been trying to help him. So hopefully he was able to secure a lawyer, though, because I do believe that everyone is due a fair fight. Now, according to the DL Whisperer, he was saying that he was doxxed first. He said that he got doxxed first and people were attacking him and bullying him online. Now, all the information is alleged regarding this whole case with them and Dominique and stuff. I don't know who started it first, but both sides are pointing fingers at each other. And I just think it went entirely too far. He did post himself going to T.S. Madison's house, one of the houses she owned. I don't know if she was currently living in there, but he was riding by. He filmed himself, calling her names, shouting out into the street, saying, "Come outside." That is where he messed up at. He should have never did that. He claims he only did that, though, because they exposed him. People are saying that they actually blasted his credit report online, and they pulled up his credit score and, blasted all of that. They're saying that they doxed him. And so that is what made him kind of flip out and then go to TS house. I don't know, but the thing is, he should have done exactly what TS Madison did, because now look, you see what I'm saying? Look what's happened. Because when you're in situations like this, you have to have a paper trail. You have to have a paper trail, because people, for this exact reason, people like to play games. And sometimes people will antagonize you. I'm not saying that's the case here. Some others are, but I'm saying some people do like to antagonize you, and they will start stuff with you only to get a reaction, and then they will in turn play the victim. And I'm not saying that's what T.S. Madison is doing. I don't, like I said before, I don't know who started it, but it's a lot of back and forth, and all of this stuff could have been avoided, because people have their opinions. People do content and commentary. You don't have to like it, but that kind of comes with the territory to me. Hi, Love Key. How are you? Thank you so much for coming over here. So yes, y'all. That's kind of where we're at with that DL Whisperer stuff. As far as the update and the charges, he has apparently been arrested, and Dominique has apparently pled guilty to her separate case involving the grand larceny, and so she will be sentenced in April. And I guess we're gonna have to follow the case with the DL Whisperer and kind of keep up with what's been going on with him. Now, the whole drama with the DL Whisperer, I will say, just like any other social media topic, it sparks a lot of comments and what we call think pieces. A lot of people comment on the situation, they make their videos, and a lot of that has been going on TikTok. Love Key said, "Oh wow, I'm recently hearing about the DL Whisperer." Yes, I recently heard about him too. Marcella, shout out to Speak With Your Girl, Marcella. She actually dropped down in my comments and let me know that the DL Whisperer had been arrested. But it's so crazy, because I've been wanting to speak again on this topic, because I did do a video on this. I've been wanting to speak again on the topic, because we're getting these comments that are attacking Black women. So I'm like, I don't know. I kind of want to go into a little more depth depth and speak on it, but it all comes with a territory, child. People like to do the most. But then I heard this update, and I'm like, you know what? Might as well. Maybe that's a sign to just go ahead, make the video, and talk about it. So the Whisper, Dominique and T.S. Madison, they ain't wasting no time, child. They over there trolling on their Instagrams. They posted to their stories, basically, laughing at the DL Whisperer for getting arrested. And, saying they want him to know that it was them, baby. They want him to know it was them that got him arrested. So, like I was saying, this whole conversation in some kind of way, black women have been getting dragged online. And I know it's a reoccurring thing. It's so fucking sad at this point that it takes nothing for people to drag black women and attack black women. But I just love to see how they twist every situation into blaming black women as a collective. So this whole thing that's been going on with DL Whisper, instead of people sticking to the people that are actually involved in this whole situation, and that would be T.S. Madison, Dominique Morgan, and the DL Whisper. Instead of them sticking to them and commenting on them, they made it about black women. I want us to listen to this video where this content creator, and this is not to single her out, but I did come across her video on TikTok. And it's like, I can't, not only do I not agree with her take on things, that's completely fine. Everybody's not going to agree on everything, but it's a recurring thing. Like, so it's not just her. I've seen several videos blaming black women, trying to make this as a teachable moment for black women, and trying to say, oh, y'all are just homophobic, y'all are gullible, y'all, he's not here. And let me disclaimer, I don't believe the DL Whisperer is doing anyone any favors. I don't believe he's helping black women, he's saving black women. No, I don't believe he's doing any of that. I think he found his niche. He found something that not only he had an interest in doing, but something other people took interest in him doing. So he accumulated a following over there. So I looked at it as his, it's his content, it's his um niche. Okay. And that's his prerogative. Whatever he wants to talk about and whatever he wants to put out as far as content, that's him. You know, so instead of people keeping it on him, and instead of them doing these think pieces on why they believe his content is problematic and why he shouldn't be speaking on strangers and their sexual orientation, they dragging black women. Oh, y'all supporting him, y'all giving to his GoFundMe, y'all in his comments. And it's like, how y'all make this about black women? How is this a black woman thing? So let's just listen to this video that this content creator did.
Had posted about the and being sent to protection. Hey sisters, we gotta have a conversation. The Shade Room had posted about the DL Whisperer's legal issues, how he is currently being sued and being sent to protection order. And in the comment section, I mean, to be fair, I'm saying the Shade Room, right? The Shade Room is kind of like where the worst of the worst kind of congregate, and I get it. However, in the comment section, it is a lot of women who are saying that they really appreciate the DL Whisper and how he's fighting for women's rights or whatever. And I want to.
And again, I don't think that he's fighting for women's rights. I don't. I think he just wants to do this as content, and it's bringing him attention and money. So that's why he's doing it. And also, just like she said, it's a lot of people in the comments talking about supporting him and stuff. Talk about the people that's in the comment disparaging black women, though. Talk about that just as well as y'all talk about how women are homophobic and stuff.
Like, I want to just have an open space, right? I want to talk to my fellow sistren. The DL Whisperer is not there to help you. Okay, the DO whisper is there to violate your own personal fears. He is weaponizing your internalized fears about men.
So when she said he's there to violate your fears, what does that mean? Because what y'all like to say that women like fear men being gay, but I don't think that is just because a woman doesn't want to have a relationship with a man that identifies as bi or homosexual. Why are y'all trying to say he's weaponizing that? Everyone has a choice, right? Everyone has a preference. That's what y'all like to say when people date outside their race, when people do all of this stuff they want to do, which they're grown adults. Don't get me wrong. Everyone can love who they love, they can sleep with who they want to sleep with. That is your business. But to say he's weaponizing somebody's fear, I think is kind of extreme. Hi, Braylon. Thanks for joining.
He is there to stir trouble. He is not there to protect any motherfucking body. Okay. Pause on that. I want to address the fears of dating a DO man. And I mean this wholeheartedly. Dating a DO man is the least of your worries. And I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm being serious. Because even if you want to use whatever consequences comes with that, right? Let's use the main one. Let's use the main consequence that I think a lot of people are afraid of, which is developing some sort of disease, whether that be HIV or whatever. I want you to know that that can happen and will happen if the man is stepping out on you with a woman.
Now, this is a grown woman, and I'm assuming she made this video and this content for other grown women. And so I don't understand why she felt to need to kind of like dumb dumb that down and try to say, oh, did y'all not know? Basically, y'all could get STDs and all STIs and all these other diseases from your partner if he's sleeping with another woman. Who doesn't know that? I mean, other than kids, who doesn't know that they're literally called sexually transmitted diseases for a reason? Because if you do anything with anyone sexually, you can get that disease from them. I don't know where this narrative came that women don't want to be with gay men, because they assume that they are going to get diseases and all of that stuff. I think that that's just a fear amongst people that are sexually active. It's like nobody thinks that they can only contract that type of disease from a gay man.
And it is more likely, actually, statistically sound and based off of statistics and facts, it is more likely that you will contract a sexual transmitted disease or infection because your man stepped out with another woman. Okay. Why? Because men statistically do not get tested as much as women, right? Period. Another thing is your fears around dating a deal man is centered around homophobia.
So how can you tell someone their fears are centered around homophobia? Like, I don't get that. How can you tell somebody that? How do you know what somebody's fears are centered around? And how can you call somebody's fear homophobic?
Know that may be something you don't want to align with, right? Like, no, because I like gay men. I love.
Some women just do not want to date and or sleep with men that sleep with other men. Just that was so hard to get. Why are they treating that like that's just something that they can't fathom? They don't understand that.
The gay men, they're fun. We have a good time. And while that may be true, there is still a stigma that comes with men dating men, right? And I'm not.
And who started that stigma? Black women didn't start that stigma, just like they didn't start that stigma of you saying that if sleeping with gay men is you're going to catch HIV. That was started way back in the 80s. That was not anything Black women created. That was not a narrative that we threw out into the world or that's not something we spread it. That was made way back in the 80s when they tried to say that it was a gay man's disease. Black women didn't say that, and we didn't place any type of stigma on men being gay.
Not here to say that you have to engage in sexual or romantic relationships with bisexual men or whatever, because I know that that's his own conversation. But what I'm saying is the fear that your man is secretly down low is rooted in homophobia. Because again, the fact that you think that you will contract AIDS because your man is down low it's perpetuated in media, right? That is not the majority of situations, right? I understand the betrayal of dating a man that's down low, but I also understand the betrayal of your nigga just cheating on you. You know what I mean? So that all that to say,
Everyone well, I can say everyone, but anyone that has been put in that situation to where their spouse has cheated on them can say that. I don't like how she's trying to intertwine the two, because she keep calling it a fear. But why can't it just be a preference? Why can't it be that individual's right to not want to date someone that identifies as bi or gay?
that's with that. Now the deal was, he is not associating himself or trying to figure out who is DL based off of real situations. He's not a private investigator, right? He is not going out and searching what your man is doing behind closed doors. He is picking out public figures of men who are in public relationships with women, i.e. the situation he did with Keith Lee, who is married with 3 kids, who has never shown anything other than that. But it's entertainment.
And that all the backlash and all the negativity should fall on him, seeing as he's the person that's doing this. He's the person that you said is commenting on public figures, celebrity influencers, and other creators, and he's making comments about their sexuality. So all the backlash should be on him,
And you have fallen into
not
the trap
black
of
women.
entertainment. And I understand falling into the trap of entertainment, but it's important you see the signs of a grifter soon.
A lot of people fall into the trap of entertainment, and a lot of people watch stuff that they consider entertainment because that's what they like. It's a lot of people out here watching shit that be on Zeus Network and watching baddies, and they are consuming that type of content, So you may not agree with it, but do those people deserve to be attacked for it? Like, no.
Because now what we have is people sending them their hard-earned cash to bail him out of the issues that he created for himself.
And that's not anything new. Everyone is free to make a GoFundMe, and people are free to donate their own money to it. Just like a lot of people, like for instance, that lady who was caught and filmed calling that child, that little, like a toddler, the N word on the playground. She also started a GoFundMe. And yes, I know a lot of people had a lot to say about that, and they received a lot of backlash as well. But people do that. People start GoFundMe's for all type of reasons. So hey, just don't give to it.
The DO Whisperer is in the hot water he's in because he went out of his way to dox 2 black trans women. He threatened the lives of 2 trans women. He went to T.S. Madison's house threatening to kill her. That should alarm anybody.
And it would alarm the average person, and that was wrong. He should not have done that, and he's now facing consequences. Even before allegedly being arrested today, he was facing consequences because T.S. Madison handled that situation accordingly and went and secured a temporary protective order against him.
Because regardless of whatever the fuck you believe, if we're taking internet bullshit to real life, to where you are threatening someone's life, you need to be institutionalized. Like, we got to start being serious. It is what it is. So yeah, I know how social media works. Sometimes you'll come across one video of somebody and you end up following them. You see one entertainment video, you're like, that was funny, I'm gonna follow. So I am going to assume that the majority of women that follow the DL Whisperer are not privy to all of the things that he has been up to.
And even if they are privy to the things that he have been up to and decide to continue to follow him, what does that mean? You know, people do a lot of shit on these apps and off these apps in this world, and they follow people and they don't unsubscribe. Um, and yeah, I'm sure he did get his following like that, just like you. People see a video that you do, you come across their FYP, they like it, they subscribe to your channel, and so like what? I just don't understand how they're trying to tie all of this into a black woman problem.
I'm just gonna say that and feel that because I know how social media works. You may not know all of the things, but I'm here to tell you that these are things that he has been doing. And it's unfortunate. And this is not someone that is for you, because the same type of person that would threaten the life of a trans woman for no reason is the same type of person that would threaten the life of a cisgender woman as well. Okay.
Again, who doesn't know that? There was a whole trend on TikTok when women were literally choosing the bear. Women were literally choosing the bear when it came to finding yourself in a situation where you're alone in the forest, the woods, wherever, a dark alley, anywhere. All the women said, I would rather be alone in those scenarios with a bear than alone in those scenarios with a man. So yes, women are very aware of how dangerous men can be. We are very aware of that. It did not take for a gay man to threaten a trans woman for us to realize the violence that resides in some men. We've been knew this. Hence is why a lot of women were choosing the bear. We've been knew that. We are very much aware to the danger some men pose.
There is no way you can feel.
So to say, oh, if he'll threaten a transgender, he'll threaten a real woman. We know that, ma'am. We know that. We know men are violent.
Sense of camaraderie and solitude with a person that is that dangerous and that ridiculous. And the last point I want to make, the reason that people are down low is because of homophobia. Okay? Especially when we're talking about black men. If we cultivated a space that was tolerant of black men living within their truth and their queerness, they would not feel the need to be down low. And I'm not saying that we as black women need to take sole responsibility for black men being down low and damaging their families. I'm not saying that at all, because doing that to your family it's problematic. And I am in no way justifying people who are down low, because I think that there's a level of betrayal within that, right?
Yes. And I partially agree. If we as a whole, not just black women, not just women, but as a whole society, as all human beings, cultivated a more inclusive space, then yes, more people may feel more comfortable to be who they are and come out. But I just didn't like the fact that a lot of people, because like the comments that this is just from one video, the comments that will be left under these videos trying to make this situation that's going on with the DL Whisperer and the transgender girlies that he's into it with and got all this mess going on, the fact that they're trying to twist it and make it into a black woman thing is just totally crazy. You got people saying the DL Whisperer is preying on black women and women in general, going after their homophobia. First of all women that criticize or have an opinion or comment on certain situations are not homophobic. Okay. He's using women's homophobia to gain popularity. Y'all just overuse that word. He panders to homophobic black women. If you don't fit their idea of what a man is, they call you gay in hopes to demean you and rationalize why they they not desirable to you. It's just like, what sense does that make? He's using them so bad, and despite how homo slash transphobic they are, it's still really sad and pathetic. The crazy part about all this is literally used to be on Twitter secretly recording himself having sex with DL dudes. And if he did that, y'all need to be on him. Stop making it into a black woman thing. Why can't the DL whisperer, he as a grown adult male, why can't he just be calling out what he assumes to be DL men, or calling out trans women or whoever is a part of his community? Why can't he just be doing that for his own enjoyment? You know? Why does he have to be doing that to prey on transphobic black women? Like, no. Maybe he does have some trauma regarding DL men or transgender women. Maybe he does have a hatred for them. Maybe it did steam from something else. Maybe he was chasing clout. But how does that turn into a black woman's problem? I don't see that, y'all. So that's all I really had to say in regards to the DL whisper. It's just a lot of people are taking the opportunity to bash black women and to try to make it seem like you can't criticize gay men or transgender men without them calling you homophobic. You can't, support the DL whisperer without being transphobic. Like, even if he was wrong on a lot of the stuff, which he was wrong for going to TS house, why are y'all trying to put that label on people that support him? Because it's people out here that support people that have done horrible things. Why can't they just want to support someone that they, align with on some type of level? That's just my feeling about the thing. Stop calling women homophobic just because they have some criticism or opinions about gay men. Okay. So, y'all, let's get into this whole YouTube of it all beef and drama. And I'm just so confused when it comes to the whole Patreon gate. I don't even think it doesn't even have a name, but maybe for this video's sake, we're going to call it the Patreon gate. Now, so if you are a part of the Love and Marriage Huntsville sector, then you already know what's been going on with this doggone Patreon situation. I just want to first off say, like, who are they following? And I don't know, maybe I'm not really on the algorithm of all the other content creators that are talking about this, but I've literally only seen 2 to 3 people talk about the fact that Mel got a Patreon. In a negative light, I might add. I've only seen 2 to 3 people, and really, I'm gonna say 2, because one of those people that I've seen speak on it was Anthony Lofty's. But we know he does not like Mel. We know he don't like Mel. So at this point, it's already understood that he hates your freaking guts. So it comes as no surprise that he has something to say about the Patreon. And the only other 2 people I've seen speak on the Patreon was Giving You the Real Tea, and it was Prosperity Thick Girl. It's their right. They on their own channels speaking their opinions. So it's like, I don't know. I've just been seeing other people keep making videos like, oh, YouTubers are mad. And even Mel herself, she's been saying people are mad that she's trying to monetize her content. And it's like, who's mad? And this is an honest question. Who's mad? I haven't seen enough people on YouTube speak about that Patreon negatively to where it justifies where she's saying that everybody's mad. People are mad. I don't feel like 2 people warranted the response that she's giving. And no, I'm not saying that she cannot come out here and say exactly what she wants to say. She can respond to whatever she wants to respond to. But I just feel like somebody of her caliber should not be out here responding to literally 2 YouTubers that had something to say about a Patreon she made. My algorithm has shown much of the Patreon. Yeah, I haven't. And I haven't seen. I haven't went over there to the Patreon, but like I said, I didn't see people like speaking of it negatively because we all know at this point, people that want to support you, they're going to support you. So, like the few naysayers, that was nothing to really be spoke about, and I just feel like they are making it bigger than what it actually is. Saying, "Oh, she's beefing with YouTubers, they mad because she's threatening to sue them if they um." use her content. No, nobody should be using her content that she puts behind her paywall. No, they shouldn't. Okay, that's established. But to say that like everyone is in an uproar because of this, I don't see that. I don't think everybody is in an uproar because she decided to do that. And I think some of the comments she's made in regards to content creators and YouTubers is wow. Love key, but my algorithm has shown much being the Game of Thrones and other things, so I must have missed a lot. Oh, really? I love the Game of Thrones. That's like one of my favorite shows. But so, y'all, before we get out of here, let's real quick speak on this. So, what Mel said was she provided people with content and she shared her life and she shared um her family and everything that was going on for free for years. And now that she's deciding to monetize on it, people are mad. Again, I don't know the people she referring to. I've only seen two people speak on it negatively. And and it's crazy because it wasn't even the two people that I seen speak on it. I don't know if they really like supported her. Well, I know T didn't. I know T used to drag her. He already said he never held back. He didn't have no problem, but he wasn't putting her on a pedestal, as he would say, and he was holding her up to the flame just like everybody else. So, like, if these people never were big supporters of you, why are you surprised that they have something negative to say about your new adventure? And so, to the comment that she made, because I don't feel no type of way about Mel. The whole thing that happened with Tay, I think that's unfortunate. And I think that Tay was a huge supporter. And I think, that's her loss. Basically, to sum that up, I don't dislike Mel. I don't have no hatred for Mel. It's just, it is what it is. She's not on the show. I haven't been, covering anything. And that's how it will continue. But I wanted to speak on this because she came out and she said, well, I was providing y'all with content. Y'all was making money off of me for years. Gave y'all access to my life for free, but it was like, no, you didn't, man. You were literally on a reality TV show. These are just my opinions, friendly criticism. You were on a TV show. The contract you entered into said you had to discuss your life. You know, so how are you saying you just gave it to us for free like you did us some favor? You were literally on a national television show, and that show happened to be a reality TV show, meaning you were supposed to show the audience your reality. You were supposed to show us. And let's not act like you did not benefit from showing your reality on that show, because you made money. So I wouldn't say you gave people access to you or your family or your life for free. You literally made money. Not only were you getting paid to be on said reality TV show, you being the businesswoman that you were, you had products for sale. People were buying them. You restarted your beauty line. People were supporting you. So you wasn't giving people content for free. You were getting support. You were getting free promo. If anything, and not that you asked for, but that was something you was getting in return for sharing your life. These YouTubers, everybody that used to talk about your TikTok lives, everybody that used to do reviews on your products, everybody that used to drop down in the comments and say what they bought on your live, everybody that used to make posts reminding people to get on over to TikTok and sign up. We had content creators, we had the Gossip Girls out here helping people that did not know how to navigate TikTok. They were out here helping people set up TikTok accounts just so they would not miss her lives and just so they would be able to support her either by buying products or being over there tapping the fucking screen. You had people out here, myself included. We were sitting on 6 hour lives, tapping the screen over and over. We would get down and taste chat, and we all made a kiki about it. We all laughed about how we had carpal tunnel because we sat over there and pulled a shift, and we was tapping to make sure your live got up to 15 million likes. No, ma'am, you did not give people access to you and access to your life for free. You were able to get publicity, by all of these YouTubers pushing you, your content, your products out. That was able to bring you more money, to get more traffic into your website, to get more people to trying your products and stuff. People, we not going to even talk about anytime something would be said, people would jump on their YouTube channels and immediately not only try to defend her, but they would be calling people out and proving them wrong. Like, no, this says this. People will go and do their own little research just so they can show the truth and what they thought to believe the truth. So that was, to me, that was a little unbecoming. That was a little tasteless for my liking, for her to come out and say, I gave you all my life and access to me, and you guys couldn't pivot. It's not my fault y'all couldn't pivot. Like, who, like, at that point, who are you talking to? Because again, the only people we seen speak negatively, my ad, it was only two. Those people that I've seen speak negatively did not really support you, from my understanding. And they can correct me if I'm wrong, and this is no shade to them, but they were never like big supporters of her. So for her to say that is like, are you talking to people that used to support you and are no longer supporting you? Like, who are you talking to? But even if you're talking to the people that used to support you and no longer support you, that was still kind of weird, because it was, to me, it was an even exchange. You were the one that wanted to be on reality TV. So in return, you had to share your like. People liked you. People wanted to support you. People did support you. So they used their own time and money to not only buy your products, buy your classes, but people, you had content creators that were, yeah, they were getting paid for the videos they made, but they still were going out of their way to support you beyond just spending money with you. Like I said, people on YouTube were making sure that everybody had a TikTok account. If you did not have an account and you did not know how to sign up, people were showing people how they could go sign up for TikTok. Every time she had a live, they were sending out blasts and posts, letting, reminding people, hey, get on over there, go do that. After a live, people, after her lives, people would then go live on their YouTube to kind of recap. Everybody would drop down in the chats and say what they bought. People would give their reviews right there in real time on products that they tried, so all of that was free advertising for her. All of that was free publicity for her. All of that was free promo for her. So, I don't believe she should have been out here saying that. Oh, I gave you all this. I gave you all this. Ma'am, you definitely got something in exchange for that. And it's like, I don't know who's over there in her ear. It's just like, yeah, that wasn't the right play, in my opinion. Love Key says, it makes me wonder who is carrying her the mess, because I honestly don't think she would know anything if they messy menopausal crew didn't keep bringing her drama. Yeah, I don't know who's over there doing it either, Love Key, but it definitely is some real crazy stuff going on. And I think she honestly should have just continued to do what she do, because when I heard the announcement about her doing Patreon, I looked at it just like I looked at all the other stuff she does. This is what Mel does. She knows how to generate income for herself, and she's supposed to use every tool at her disposal. And I'm actually surprised that it took her this long to utilize a platform like Patreon or something like that. I would have thought she would have been done something a little of that nature, because she's always very active on social media. and she's always have been. Kimmy and Tisha teased her about that on the show, about her being very active on social media, and it's always worked in her favor. So I didn't care, and no, I don't care how much she's charging, because that is her price. Am I personally going to join and pay that much for a Patreon? No. Did I feel the need to come out and say that I personally was not going to pay that price? No. But I just wanted to speak on that, because I kept seeing people try to blow this up into a bigger matter. And it's like, who are y'all talking about that's so mad that this woman is starting a Patreon? Yes, some people may not agree with it, but who cares? Like, do your thing. But for that kind of caught me off guard, though, the comments, because I'm like, you're making it seem like people have just been, you know, riding your coattail. Don't get me wrong, your old casting crew may have rode your coattail. You may have put them on to the show, and put them on to businesses and business ideas, and help them with their businesses. But the YouTubers was out here getting it on their own. They was creating the videos. Even if you were the content, ma'am, that was still for your betterment. That was still a positive for you, for people to be speaking on you, and to keep you relevant, and to keep the show relevant. So people creating videos with you being the topic wasn't them riding your coattails or you giving them anything for free. They put the time in. They made those videos. They went live. They bought the equipment they needed. You didn't hand these creators anything. And so I didn't think that was right for her to come out and try to say that. I didn't agree with that. So I wanted to speak on it, because yeah, this is what we do, right? We create content. So I'm gonna speak on it. So it was like, yeah, you didn't give creators anything. Anybody in the public eye knows that you want publicity. You want people to talk about you. You want people to be able to expand your reach, because essentially that's what they did. All of those YouTubers doing videos and content on you, and not even just on you, on the show, the sector, the Love and Marriage Huntsville sector blew the show up. Because people would literally come. You had people not even watching the show, but they would come to the YouTube sector to get everybody's reviews, recaps, and opinions. So that they did you a favor. When you launched your brand, having all those people behind you, making sure that they bought products and they spent money, and they was on your lives for 6 hours straight. Who out here doing that other than real supporters? Who's sitting on a TikTok live for 6 and 8 hours, constantly tapping the screen to make sure your likes is up, constantly buying? You were doing lives every month, and you had YouTubers that was not missing a live, and Mel's products weren't cheap. People were really factoring that into their monthly expenses to make sure that they were supporting her. So it's unfortunate that it's come to what it's come to now. But yeah, I just don't think people need to forget how stuff really started. Like, she has a right to defend herself always. She has a right to speak on what she wants to speak on. She has a right to start a Patreon and charge whatever the fuck she wants to charge. That she has a right to do. It makes me no never mind. But to try to paint the narrative as all YouTubers, and I know she didn't say all YouTubers, but it's like it's literally two people. You shouldn't have even responded to two people. You shouldn't have been over here even mad or upset that two people didn't agree with you, or three people didn't agree with you. Like, come on now. Tighten up. Tighten up. You should not be responding to 2 to 3, 5 to 10 people about something you have the right to do. I think for the most part, YouTube has been really peaceful, and you all were doing other content when you felt like it. Yeah, it has been very peaceful over here. It has been, of course, I miss my girl Tay. She got to start back getting up out here, but I understand she going through a lot over there. So we got to give everybody their time. They'll come back and they'll make time to do their content. But yeah, it was like, come on now. It's quiet. I don't think just because a handful of people disagree with a decision you made, that does not affect them. I don't think that should have prompted her to, like, basically come out here and speaking the way she did speak, because she was like, I gave you all, like, girl, do are we gonna skip over the fact of what people gave you? Because people definitely gave her something in exchange for her being on the show and being on social media and doing that. And she knows that, she recognizes that, because that's why she started going live and giving us tea extra over there on TikTok. So it's like, what people were doing for you. Anybody that has products to sell, anybody that has a business to run, they know what publicity and advertisement and all of that stuff. People spend hundreds and thousands of dollars to advertise their business. And she literally has several YouTubers doing it for free. People pay for promo, and people send people free products. She was getting, people were paying for their own products with their own money, and still coming on their YouTube channel and advertising those products. Businesses send people, YouTubers and content creators, they send them products to review and to promote, and people were doing that for her for the free ski. So, it's just like, no, don't try to diminish the people that were actually supporting you and being there. And so then the only other thing is, I think everybody just needs to stick to what they're doing. It's been peaceful. People have been minding their business. They've been dropping their content. They've been doing everything that they feel is good and healthy for themselves. And I think it needs to stay that way. People just, continue to push out your content and don't really get caught up into all the drama. I seen the video that AL did. I watched that, and I just had to say, I do not believe that Tay owes anybody an apology. Especially the people on the cast and all of that stuff. Like, come on now. Just because y'all claim that people are seeing this lady for who she is does not mean that it changes anything regarding to the cast. They did what they did, and it's documented very well over here on YouTube. So it's like, yeah, I don't think she owes anybody an apology. So, y'all, that's really just my thoughts and opinions on the whole Patreon gate. Also, the little info on the DL Whisper and stuff. You guys, please stop trying to blame black women and make everything black women's fault. Not everybody is homophobic. Yes, I recognize that some people are homophobic, but that's not the case for everyone. So I think the issue with T.S. Madison, the DL Whisper, and all of that, the topic needs to stay on them. If y'all don't like the type of content he was out here producing, the topic still should stay on him. I don't think by any means black women are, as a collective, are gullible and don't see him. They just kept trying to make it seem like, oh, he's tricking y'all. He's not tricking anybody. He's creating content, and people that are aligned with that content are supporting him. And that's their prerogative. They can do what they want. But stop like dog piling on black women in them comments. And if you're a creator and you're going to address the homophobic comments, also address the people that are trying to talk down on black women. Love Key said, yeah, no apologies needed, especially that guy. Yeah, no, I don't think no apologies from Tay are needed. I don't think so. I don't think so. And I watched her live, and she called it out. So yeah, but I had to throw that little out there too, since we were speaking on everything that was going on. But yeah, I'll go ahead and smash that like button for me. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get out of here. And I'm gonna have to catch y'all in the next one. Thank y'all so much for joining. Thank y'all for supporting the channel. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like button, it's free. Support, push me in the algorithm, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.